Hey, what's going on guys, I'm Primal Liquid, and well, very similar to the armor video, you know, the Final Fantasy X HD English release is almost upon us. So what I'm going to do in this video is help you guys to max your stats. Now, keep in mind, regardless of what sphere grid you use, whether you use standard or expert, you cannot reach the 10,000 HP and 255 in all stats. It's one or the other. You simply cannot do both. There's not enough space. Now what I suggest doing is just going for 255 in all stats and then just leaving your HP at 9,999. It's quicker, it's easier, and trust me, it's a lot less hassle, and it saves you trying to fight for 330 odd HP spheres. So let's get started, shall we? Well, one quick thing to note, do the AP trick first, right? Do not attempt to do this without doing the AP trick. You're going to want to at least have the sphere grid completed before you fight some of these guys. So, let's get into it, shall we? To get strength plus 4 nodes, you need to fight a monster called Juggernaut. Now, obviously this is going to get easier the further along you progress, but if you start having trouble with him, then I suggest summoning Anima or perhaps the Magus Sisters, you know, and just work your way up. Now, once you've got 255 strength, then it becomes very, very easy. And obviously, having the celestial weapons really does help. As for characters to use, I strongly suggest that whoever you use, just make sure that Tiresome Walker in there. You know, the third character really doesn't matter. I use Yuna just for, you know, I prefer her over the rest of the characters. But Tiresome Walker, their overdrives are simply amazing for the monster arena, and it will speed you up dramatically using both of them. But yeah, once you've got 255 strength by beating Juggernaut, then it's time to move on to accuracy. Now, to get accuracy plus 4 nodes, you need to fight a monster called Hornet. Now, as for Hornet, it does have very, very high evasion. So, to start with, if you are having really bad troubles hitting him, then use an Aeon. You know, like, there's really no shame in using an Aeon, or use an overdrive like Walker's attack reels or Tidus's Blitz Ace. Now, both of those attacks, should you get them perfect, should one-shot him as long as you have max I was going to say defense then, as long as you have max attack. Oh, keep in mind, I'll put a list down in the description on how to unlock all of these monsters, so you don't need to worry about that. Now, onto agility. To raise agility, you're going to have to fight a monster called Fenrir. Now, Fenrir is a monster that, like Hornet, has very high evasion, so that's why we do accuracy before agility. And once you've got strength, accuracy and agility maxed, the rest are pretty much just going to fall into place. Now, about Fenrir, his normal attacks do actually inflict a lot of statuses on you, so either get the appropriate status protection or use ribbon. I think he also has an attack that inflicts death, so keep in mind about that as well. Now, after agility is done, we move on to defense. Now, in order to get defense plus 4 nodes, you have to fight a monster called Tanket. Now, Tanket pretty much looks like those little balls covered in armor that you find around. Now, this guy, he is quite annoying unless you're at max strength, simply because of the fact, you know, you have to do quite a bit of damage to him. I'm unsure if you can actually full break him. I'm not too sure on that, but all in all, it's not too bad as long as you're at max strength and you're using quick hits with max agility. As long as you're using that strategy with celestial weapons, he should die before he actually gets a turn in. And now on to magic defense. Now, magic defense is one that you'll max easily while grinding for Gil to get your armor. Basically, a monster called One Eye drops magic defense plus 4 spheres, but One Eye is also a monster that drops gear that you sell for Gil. It's pretty much the best way to get Gil, so I really wouldn't worry too much about getting magic defense. Now, once magic defense is done, we're going to go on to evasion. The reason why I leave Evasion till so late is because it's pretty much unneeded, really. Now, once you've got agility, strength, and accuracy up to max, you can pretty much kill all of these monsters before they're able to attack you. So that's why I leave Evasion till last. And now we're on to the troublesome ones, if you will. Luck. Luck is a pain in the arse to max because you need to get so many spheres, but not only that, you need to actually get the activation sphere for them, which is fortune spheres. So it does take a while, you know, I'm not gonna lie. You're gonna spend more time maxing luck than any of the other stats combined. Now, well, any of the other stats combined, as long as you don't max magic. I'll just put it that way. Now, to max luck, the easiest way I suggest is going in against Greater Sphere and using Walker's attack reels and Tidus's slice and dice. As long as you use those two overdrives and you're dealing max you have max strength, you will one-shot him. He will counter with his press attack, which takes off, I think it's 75% of your HP, but that can be lowered with auto protect. Now, once you've done a battle and you want to raise your overdrives again, simply set your overdrive modes to Victor and then just keep battling dingoes or something. So now we move on to fortune spheres, so we can actually activate those luck nodes. To get fortune spheres, you need to beat Earth Eater. Now, Earth Eater's it's pretty easy as long as you know what you're doing. Now, he'll start off the battle standing up. He'll pretty much always get one counter in. So that's pretty much a guaranteed death of one character, because his punches always inflict death. His counters don't, so as long as you're on max speed, you shouldn't actually have to worry about dying, unless you get ambushed. The punch can be, the damage can be lowered with auto protect and auto defense. As long as you hit him once at max damage, you'll knock him over, and then all he will do is he'll cast Flare on himself, but because he has like auto reflects that you cannot dispel, it'll always reflect off him and onto yourself, so you can't reflect yourself either to get rid of it. So what you can do is have auto shell, have max magic defense. With just max magic defense, you'll only take about 2,500 damage from it. So as long as you keep on top of your healing every now and again, you should be perfectly fine on this. So that's all the stats out of the way apart from magic. Now, the reason I've left magic to last is because it is completely unneeded. I never bother with it. The amount of time it takes to max magic is ludicrous. Basically because in order to max magic, you have to fight a monster called Jumbo Flan. Now, Jumbo Flan is completely immune to all physical attacks, so you can only hurt him with magic. But there's a bit of a downside because he comes with auto reflect that cannot be dispelled. So you have two options. One is ultimate, the other is reflecting spells off your own characters. Now, what I suggest doing is either double casting ultimate and then copycatting it with